work. Okay. Let me see if I hope your phone doesn't die though. I'm using my
Okay.
phone as a light, yeah.
Okay. So, welcome to the our first what can I say, podcast or business talk. This talk is a closed session, but there
Okay.
are a few people that might be able to join. It's being recorded,
Okay.
and we will be able to upload it later on YouTube for people to be able to view.
Okay.
The reason for doing this is obviously spread awareness, be able to mentor entrepreneurs on business opportunities, and hear from people who have done it, because we have a lot of people who are just coming up, and I think it's very, very important for people to be able to join, to be able to learn from people who have done it before.
Yeah.
So why we are doing this meeting today. The first thing
Okay.
is, for the sake of introduction, we are together here today with Nasir Mustapha, who is a graduate of geography from Bayero University, Kano. He graduated in 2014, and when he graduated, so far he has been involved, an active player in the tech ecosystem. He founded Mr. T Investments, Kaduna. How can I unmute everyone? I need to unmute everybody.
I think you can set that in the setting. Everyone should come muted, and when they come in the first time, they are muted.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. Anyways, so you have been able to find off a lot of startups or companies, and I think the first one is Mr. T Investments, which is
Yes.
at the time it was together with IT Central. I know IT Central. I have been to your hub in Kaduna. And
Yeah.
then the second one, I think, is IT Central, and then Schooler, and then the AI company now.
Yes.
So you've done very well. And I just saw recently how much you've been impacting a lot of people in the tech ecosystem, especially women, for their decisions. I even saw some gifts and stuff like that. So I think the first question would be connecting your course of study, which was obviously geography and tech. How did
Well, so my whole journey into tech really didn't start with my course. So it started earlier, when I was younger. At a younger age, I was very interested in computer, and so that made it kind of something that just comes natural for me, just to pursue anything tech related. Uh, I had an opportunity when I was in secondary school. I had an opportunity to, even though I didn't have a computer at home then, but my friend, they had a computer, and I was constantly in their house, using their computer every day. And at the beginning, there was no internet, so it was just the computer, and browsing through the windows, checking things, being so curious. And then later on, internet came, and uh, internet came and was accessible. We found ways to connect it using modem, things like that. It was a desktop computer. It was very interesting. So the journey kind of started from there, and then so I finished secondary school. I think even while in secondary school, I had so much interest in uh these Android phones came, I think, around the time when uh around the time when I was finishing secondary school, or started, or I think I was maybe early years in university. And there was I think it was around the finishing secondary school, the Android phones were available, and uh, I was one of the few people in my area that were able to manipulate that device. I was able to update, manipulate it. There was this thing that was I used to be what was it called out there, the routing. There's a way you have to route a phone, things like that. So I was doing all those kind of things uh during that time. And so when I finished university, I just set up that company, Mr. T Investment, and the rest is here today. So there's really little to no connection with the course I studied and what I do right now.
Okay. I think that established a very good background, and it's going to help us establish why we're here and the reason for this conversation. Now, the first question I'll go back regarding the questions is, SMEs. What in your view is the biggest problem for SMEs and startups? We like to talk about startups, especially for people in tech, but there are sometimes I like, especially in Nigeria, it's just business people starting to do one or two things. You and I could be a bit technical and understand why it's different between SME and startup.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the biggest problem between SMEs and startup? What is the biggest problem for founders?
Biggest problem for founders. Well, yeah, I'm not really in the right position to make this judgments. So what I mostly do at IT Central is focus on the talents. So building the startups to to a stage of success is not really um kind of my top skills, right? So I don't think I'm really in the right position to tell you what is the biggest problems with startups at the moment, right?
Thank you for that.
Well, but you could say a thing because you two yourself founded one or two companies, so you might have one or two opinions. What do you think is common?
So, well, what I can tell you is, for me, if you have something that you want to build, just focus on it and uh, keep giving it your best. So if I could point out a problem, it could be that people tend to get distracted. So maybe that could be the problem. Distractions.
Okay. Well, that's a good one. I actually believe that. So, in your journey as a startup founder, as a manager, as an investor, what do you think? What helped you the most? Like we all know that in business there's always constant ups and downs. You have all these problems. They're trying to constantly solve. Every single day there's 1,000 things that can go wrong. What do you think? What grounded you? What helped you the most in your journey?
Well, my interest, actually. I'm really interested in what I do. Uh, so much so that people that work with me tend to ask me whether I have a life like outside this thing that I do. So it's more like this is just my life. So what I would say has helped me is having that mindset, to kind of see this as something I'm really, really interested in. I'm really passionate about uh what I do right now. And I think that is helping a lot. When you have something that you committed to, you tend to give it your best. And when you give it your best, they said fortune favors the brave, right? So when you give it your best, you stay long in the game, and then eventually luck and all the things, opportunities will come and meet you. So I would say that's has helped me, being uh interested in what I'm doing, having passion, dedication, commitment to that. And I think we had a conversation some time ago, and I was telling you, I think I made this analogy. It's kind of related to how marriages work, right? So when you're married, um, if you want to make your marriage a success, you should look at it as a commitment, right? That it's a commitment on both sides. So I'm committing to my wife, she's committing to me, you know. So it's sort of like that in business too. You commit to that thing that you do. It's not about having lovey-dovey feeling for that what you do. No, it's about commitment. Commitment is uh, intentional. You decide to commit regardless of what's happening right now. Committed because I'm committed for what I believe in, you know. So that commitment, I think, helps a lot because it helps keep you in the game, and then luck and opportunity that are around, and you just see yourself. Sorry.
Okay. That's a very good one. Actually, I think it will connect between. You already started connecting. We had that conversation once about your life philosophy, and that was my conversation
Yeah.
with you. So today, we have audience like what makes you who you are and why you stand out. What are your life philosophies?
Sorry, can you come again?
I say, what are your life philosophies? What makes you who you are? Because we had that conversation between you and I, but that was a private conversation. Public, I think people would like what are your values? What do you stand for?
I think I said it in my previous answer, but I'll state it again. So it's that focus, really. I'm a person that loves focusing on something and giving it my all. And that is what I think surrounds everything else that I do. Even the people that work with me, I tend to influence them in that way. You know, in the tech industry, for example, we do have this concept of having a full stack developer, for example, right? That's it's not a bad thing, you know. It's a great thing, if you look at it in some way. But for me, I think uh, a front end developer that focuses on doing front end for the rest of their life will create better products than a full stack developer that has skills in various sample. So that having that focus allows you to kind of allow your skill to marinate well enough to do something phenomenal, you know. So there was a project that we built for a client, for example. Uh, one of the participants, one of the junior partners at IT Central, has learned that philosophy. And in the beginning, when he started his journey, he was thinking of doing front end and then doing back end and then doing, you know, so many things. And I told him, hey, bro, you need to focus, you know, sit down, focus on one thing, choose one. I'm not saying you can't do other things. You can do them, but try at the early stage of your career, try and focus on one thing. If it's successful, I mean, look at Elon Musk. He's doing so many things, right? But he's doing things at a point when doing some of them. So you succeed somewhere, and then if you want to try something else after you've succeeded somewhere, it's fine, you can try. But at every point in time, try and give one your best till it succeeds. So that's sort of covers what I believe in.
Well, that's a very. I think even when we had that conversation, it a little bit influenced me. Even though you know sometimes in Nigeria, a lot of people, and I have to judge, a lot of people will tell you, if you focus on doing one thing and that one thing might not be able to feed you or give you the life that you're trying to live, maybe you need to have a job before starting a business, or maybe you need to do all these 3 different businesses before you can find the successful one. And it works for some people,
Yeah.
but I think the analogy is very, very profound, because in football match or anything professional at the professional level, you cannot be
Yeah.
a striker and a defender at the same time.
Exactly.
Right? You have to be
Exactly.
like an attacker before, like, you can't go back to defense. Even if you had an injury, there is no ex player on the bench. But if you're an attacker and a defender or a midfielder got injured, you're not going to be replacing that person. You'll have to look for somebody with less ability, but there is a defender to be able to do. So that's how it works with everything at a professional level. I try to make this analogy most of the time to people, like, focus on what you're really, really good at. Because, like, for me, a lot of people see me and they're, okay, this is a tech guy. I'm saying, yeah, I studied tech, I understand tech. But what I understand the most, and I'm trying to channel all my energy to the most, is being able to inspire people, being able to, understand problems, and being able to come up with solutions. And I think that's profound for everybody doing whatever kind of business. The more you narrow down your focus, the better it is for you to be able to succeed at that thing. And when you succeed, you can expand. And that's very, very profound. So
that's true.
The next question is, do you think founders need mentors, or is mentors overrated? Like, do everybody starting a business, or in his, especially early stage or whatever stage, need a mentor, or is it something that is not that important?
I can understand. It's very important. You know, for me, people that are around me, I've seen how people around me are succeeding because of people they have around them, mentoring them, guiding them, telling them the mistakes that they have done without you having to do it yourself. So mentorship is very, very important. In fact, that's mostly what we do. Excuse me, please. That's almost the whole thing that we do at IT Central. That's kind of the whole game, mentorship. It's very important. Sometimes you may not necessarily have mentors that you go and talk to, you know. For me, for example, when I was starting my business, I was constantly on YouTube, learning from people like Jim Rohn. I'm sure you know about Jim Rohn. I read books, So, but I spend most of my time on YouTube, But I learned a lot on YouTube. I could call them mentors. They didn't talk to me, but we didn't communicate directly. I talked to them and they talked to me, but I learned a lot from them, hearing their stories, and hearing from what they've learned and the mistakes they've made and advices they've given. So I think mentorship is very important. Actually, it's not overrated, probably even underrated if you ask me. So it's very important.
Yeah, I can connect with that. Actually, very, very. Anytime I start to talk about my story, one of the first things I tell people is how mentorship has led me to where I am, and how many people have been able to inspire in my own small way. Because, like you said, I like most of the time when I'm doing trainings, I tell people, like, YouTube was the best institution I've ever been to. I didn't pay school fees, but it was better than what I studied in university. And because I was just going there, checking, learning constantly, and even up till today, I realized I spend like 4 hours or 3 hours on a daily basis on YouTube. And I was thinking, maybe I was spending too much time on social media. And I checked my Instagram stats, and I saw that I was spending like less than 30 minutes. I'm like, that's like very okay, because that's like so much news and other stuff. But YouTube, particularly, like, so many people you could learn from.
Exactly.
And there is this show I enrolled. I subscribe. It's called the All In Podcast. It's Chamat Paleptia. I don't know if you know him.
Sorry, what's the name?
David Sachs.
What's the name of the podcast?
Chamat.
Okay. No, the podcast.
He was one of the founders of Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, early executive at Facebook. He exited and founded Social Capital. David Sachs was part of the Palmapia, and some other things. David Sachs and David Freeback, and 4 of them. Like, over 1 year, when I was released every single day, I never missed an episode of their podcast 1 hour. And after 1 year, I realized I learned so much about finance, about business. Even if I did a degree in economics, I will not understand those things. I understand so much. So mentorship is very important. And there are two types of mentorship. There are mentors you can be able to see, interact, and talk with. And there are mentors you just watch them from afar, and whatever they do, you feel like, yeah. For example, most of us in Nigeria would like look at Dangote and say, like, this is a mentor for us. Probably a lot of us have never met him, never saw him, even physically, but when he opened his refinery, we were all happy. Like, this is something, this is success, or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. That although there's also something that it's is important to point out regarding the mentorship. So you are supposed to learn from mentors, but you're not supposed to copy them, right? So try your best not, because you don't have the same life circumstance, so you should always remember that your life circumstance may be different from that of your mentor. So you should always just try to learn rather than copy your mentor, right? So that's something important too.
Yeah, that's profound. So narrowing down on one of the questions before, you basically at IT Central, you've been able to mentor people, you've been able to guide people, and do you consider what do you find is like success to you? Is it the number of impacts, the number of trainings, or is it the money in your bank account? What do you consider success?
Okay, so for us at IT Central, the goal is to put right now the Northern Nigeria on the world map, such that Northern becomes a tech producer. A tech producer in the sense that we produce talents that will go out and work for the world, and then we produce tech solutions in the form of startups, that the world will benefit from. So success will be a day when IT Central has produced a number of startups that are solving problems for the world, and a number of talents that are helping solve other problems somewhere else. So that's what success looks like at ID Central. We're getting there. We're not there yet, but we're getting there.
Okay, I think that's good. So you and I haven't happened to seem to be enough to be able to see the bigger picture, being able to go to places and get inspired, and we come back to our communities or people that we think people should be able to behave like that, because there are so many opportunities that we, even us ourselves, can bring to those people and other things. Does that make you and normally we meet people and they're not very serious about things, and no matter how much we want to help, yeah, they find one or two few people that are very serious, but we want to help a lot of people, because that helping a lot of people help our entire region, which is always underrated. And if you go to meet people finding startups, and you find people sleeping in the place, living there for 6 months before they build an MVP, and you meet people in northern Nigeria, you want to build a startup, and the other guy is in another place, the other guy is doing this one, doing different things. It's even difficult for them to sit down and discuss for like good 5 hours without getting disruption. So does it make you angry or how do you feel when you look at this difference, the gap between how our counterpart in the South or other part of the world are behaving when it comes to doing business, and us not being able to focus and do the right thing? That's why we have all these beggars and all these problems in Nigeria.
Well, it doesn't make me angry, but maybe it's because maybe I'm living in a one, but the people that we've been able to build, to set up their startups they don't have that kind of mindset. And maybe it's because of the environment. So I'm thinking perhaps if there is that problem exists, yes, but it has to do with probably the kind of the platform those people are uh, kind of coming out of, right? Maybe we don't have the right platform, the right mentorship, the right system, that allows them to grow and to have that of mindset that the people that their counterparts are doing on the other side of the country. So it doesn't make me angry. It just shows there is a gap. We need to help these people to have that right mindset, to set up their businesses properly, and hopefully succeed.
I think that's profound.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest goal in life is to just, there are people who are doing good. When good, they're just doing okay. As far as Northern Nigeria is concerned, they're doing okay and fine. But when you look at their business, you look at how much just knowing few things could really, really help them. Like, those people that have McDonald's, those people that have uh, L'Oreal, those people that have Facebook, all those people who are not like, it's not like they have two heads, they have one head, and they just understood something very good, and they just keyed in and entire put your word focus to it. And at the end of the day, they end up doing so many things. For example, when Facebook really started, I don't think they have an idea of how to make money with the software. All they knew is that they are creating value. So they continue creating value. At a point, they reach a stage whereby, now
make money.
we bring these people, somebody come with model app, we could advertise on Facebook and we could really make money rather than telling people to pay for it. And it proves to be the best model so far. So what the point I'm trying to get to is, how do we look at SMEs in Nigeria that do not have that global mindset, that group mindset, thinking that all I need is this business and to pay me XYZ amount of money in the month, and I buy my car and I'm enjoying my life, and that's it. Compared to building things that really last and could create generational wealth for you, for your family, for other people, for the people around you. How do we put that? Like, how do we materialize that? What do you think is the best model to do that? Is it incubation or startup or?
Yeah, so this podcast that you're having, I think it's also a medium through which people will learn, that they can actually do the things that those other people that have achieved great things are doing, and just create a platform and that allows people to have that kind of mindset, kind of incubate that mindset into people's head, build that mindset into people's head, create a platform that allows people to have such mindset. And like I told you earlier when you asked that question, I said perhaps I'm living in the bubble of my own, because the people that I work with that are building startups, they don't really have that mindset actually. They when was at its earlier stage, one of the founders was sleeping in the office. So you can see how far it's going now, right? So they don't have that mindset, and so I believe if you set up a platform that people can come in and kind of help them rewire their mindset, so to say, and that maybe that will help. And such this kind of settings, that this kind of podcast conversations, if we keep doing them, more people will catch up on what's important to focus on, instead of just building something that lasts a few days. Personally, for me, I have the vision, not IT central vision. This is my vision personally, to build a company that will last at least 100 years. So that's my personal vision, right? So
Okay, so we're about to start rounding up. I like to keep the conversation as short as possible. People get bored and stuff. So I would like to ask maybe personal life, marriage, You got married, like, I think if I could remember, in 2022.
Yeah.
You have a boy, a baby now.
Yes.
Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a boy, Mustapha. Yeah.
Oh, the father. That's
Yes.
very nice. So, are you, when with your children or with your family, do you think it's important for Mustapha at a very young age to understand the importance of entrepreneurship and start going that direction, or will you just like let him choose whatever he wants to choose?
Oh, I have to let him choose what to choose, of course. All I would do as a father is to the same thing that I'm doing at Central. I can't force people to do things, but I will environment that will let them uh grow and be who they want to be. So I'll build an environment for him to uh be the person that he wants to be. Of course, that person that he wants to be has to be a good person, right? So if he wants to be, I'm not talking about being who he wants to be like the Americans. I'm against that actually. I'm not in agreement with that kind of total freedom, but I'm saying there's this box of good things, and if you want to do any of them, it's good. So that's the kind of environment I would definitely build for my child, inshallah.
I think that's great. I think I would let my children choose what they choose, but I just want to be a good role model that they'll be like, okay, I want to be like that. And of course, he's building all these companies. Let's just get involved. That's some of the most successful businesses in the world. Businesses that people inherit and continue doing them, even in America, from
like Donald Trump.
Rothschild. Exactly. Yeah. Even in Nigeria, don't put you. Yes, his own, but it was
exactly.
that kind of business.
It's true. It's true. That's it. That's it.
So, what do you have for us as a last advice, and for our audience, or people who want to found startups, or are in their journey and they are going through a struggle and the hustle? We're all going through it, but if you had to give an advice, what will you give?
Well, just try and persevere. Hang in there. Opportunities will come and meet you. Just stay. Try your best and stick. Commit to it. Whatever it is that you're doing, try your best and commit to it. It's inshallah, opportunities will come and meet you.
Okay. So I think we'll be around up now. I don't know, this is a podcast, others are not supposed to ask questions, but if you have some question or two questions, we'll love, I think our guest, Mr. Nasir, will be able to maybe take any question, please, you can ask. If you don't have any, then yes, nights, and it's a pleasure hosting you, and I would love to do more in the future.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And I learned a lot from you too, so.
This is mutual. Anyways, do we have any questions? Let me check. If we don't have any questions, then we can call it, we can wrap up. And this is being recorded. We're going to upload it on YouTube and share the link with some of our members. This is just the beginning, and I love the number of people that turn up. Usually people don't take this thing seriously, but we have like almost 8 or 7 people here. I think we get there.
I saw somebody from the IT Central community here. I don't know how he got the link. Tahiru. Tahiru Ibrahim. Yeah. Is he part of the Humfo community? Because he was here earlier.
Yeah, I saw him earlier. I don't know. Maybe he's part. Maybe I'm not really sure. Anyways,
Okay.
Anybody has any questions for our guests? This is Mustapha from IT Central. He's the founder and CEO of IT Central. IT Central is a hub in Kaduna along Saketa Road, hub that helps people learn digital skills and solutions, just like as he said. Also, Schooler. Schooler is you can tell us about Schooler.
Well, Schooler is an edtech platform that does two things. You know, it makes learning fun for students and makes it easy for teachers to generate content and do their teaching.
Okay. And the good thing about Schooler is one of the startups in Northern Nigeria that's on the map. They have been selected in the last cohort of CC Hub EdTech Challenge with Max. 2 startups were selected from around the country. And in my calculation,
the only one from the north,
the only
actually.
startup I know from Northern Nigeria was Schooler.
It's the only one in the north.
See, that's the point I'm talking about. And I think the time when they were doing the call for application, I was in Lagos. Actually, I even went to CC Hub. I was at CC Hub and we're having that conversation. Like, okay, this is good. And they're even doing the cohort 2 now. So
yes,
you could see the gap. Sometimes this really. It's pleasure having you, sir.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful. Okay, somebody has a question?
Yes.
Aziza, okay. Go ahead.
Even though I came late, but I heard you talking about, is it Schooler or what? Is it an app that we can download?
There's an app. There is also the web platform. So you can just go to www.schooler.app. Let me just put it on the chat here.
Okay.
And you can get it on Play Store, App Store. Just type Schooler on App Store or Play Store. Okay. Yeah, but the app on App Store and Play Store are for students, while the web platform is for teachers and schools. But yeah, there is also there's an AI assistant for teachers called Corey. So I'm sharing that too. So Corey helps teachers generate content and lesson plans.
The student, is it those in universities or?
No. So Schooler is a K-12 edtech platform. It's for kindergarten up to year 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
K-12.
you.
You're welcome. Guests, we call it a night for coming.
All right. Bye, everyone.